Check, 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 check.
This is very hard to explain because it's a complex technology, but...
From the And the Groove Remains production team studios in the Netherlands. My name is 𝗵𝗲𝗍 and welcome to this live stream. My mission is not to sell you as many apps as I can. No, my mission is to educate, teach and help you with audio track collections management and conversion for DJs, so you save yourself some time for the fun and creative part of being a DJ. For those of you who are unfamiliar with who I am, a very quick introduction. I am a 58-year-old dude from the Netherlands. I had my first DJ residency at the age of 15, which means this is over 40 years of DJ experience in the flesh. I am no longer an active DJ. I call myself a retired DJ. I do a few gigs a year, but nothing even close to what it used to be. However, you may know me from a little app that I wrote, and that app is called the DJ Conversion Utility and allows you to convert cues, loops and all that other good stuff between various DJ software. So if you want to try out something new, you don't have to lose all that work that you put into your original collection. Each Tuesday, 7 o'clock PM Central European Time, and that's right now, I host this Ask Me Anything live stream on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch and Instagram, where you can ask me any and all questions DJ related. And I don't only try to explain to you how certain things work, but I also try to demonstrate that so it makes it much clearer. For those of you watching me on Instagram, I cannot see your comments, so if you want to join the discussion or if you have questions, come to YouTube and ask your questions there. For those of you on Twitch and Facebook, welcome. These videos on YouTube or on Facebook and Twitch will not last. The archive will be on the YouTube channel. And speaking about that, we will dive into that in a moment. First, let's say hi to the people that are already joining me. Stephen Riley, hi G, I see your question, Stephen, and I will get into that in a moment. My friend Darukas all the way from California also join us. Good to see you, my friend. Do the DJ, big ups and happy Tuesday, Mixmaster G and friends. Big ups to you, Do. Java Man. Hi, good evening, Mixmaster G. How are you today? I am doing great, Javamin. Thank you very much. And I hope the same for you as well. Like I said at the beginning, the archives will no longer be on Facebook and Twitch. However, they will be on YouTube. Of course, the live broadcast will be on all platforms. Now, there was somebody who commented on my last live stream mentioning, yo, your intro is way too long. There is no intro. This is live. However, before I go on live 7 o'clock, I start the stream 10 minutes prior, so people have a chance to join the stream if they want to. So yes, then you can see that as an intro. But each day after, within 24 hours, on YouTube, I make a time index under the video about the topics we discussed, so you can easily navigate that video. And usually there is a welcome to the stream time index 10 minutes into the stream, so you can jump straight to that. And again, because I chose not to monetize my videos on YouTube anymore, you don't have any commercials. That also means that it's a little bit harder to find my videos on YouTube because the algorithm prefers the videos with monetization, so YouTube can make some money out of it. But because I switched that off, my videos will not be at the top of the hit list of the search algorithm. So please, please, please like, share, subscribe and tell your DJ friends about the availability of this information totally free online each Tuesday 7 o'clock PM, so they can use that information if they need to. Kenny Fiesta has some questions and you can ask them right away in the chat, Kenny. Usually it is not that crowded and I go back very quickly. So welcome to the stream, by the way. If you got a question, type it in the chat. And that is for everybody with a question. Just type it in the chat and we will be fine. I don't have many topics prepared for this live stream, which means that if there are not many questions, this will be a short live stream. And indeed, like Daruka said, it's more like a waiting room than an intro. Yeah, indeed, you can see it like that. It's more like I'm going to be live in a moment, so join me. The Night Rider, what's up, Mixmaster G? Night Rider, I'm good, and what's new with you, buddy? Let's head into the question that Stephen Riley had, and that question is regarding the Rekordbox Q and Key tool. The Rekordbox Q and Key tool is actually one of my older apps, and that bridges the gap between Mixed in Key and Rekordbox. In the past, Mixed in Key couldn't communicate with Rekordbox at all. That is why I developed the Rekordbox Q and Key tool. And then after various incarnations, the later versions of Mixed in Key could communicate with Rekordbox through what is known as the Rekordbox XML. But the Rekordbox XML has its very own problems, because importing information from a Rekordbox XML into Rekordbox can be a daunting task. So I rewrote parts of the Rekordbox Q and Key tool to communicate directly with the Rekordbox database. And that is a Rekordbox 6 and or Rekordbox 7 database. Rekordbox 6 and Rekordbox 7 use the same database. So basically the same routine that worked for Rekordbox 6 worked with Rekordbox 7. And the question Stephen Riley is having about the modification date. And for that, to make that a little bit clearer, let's dive into the Rekordbox Q and key tool and let me show you what Stephen is actually asking here. Let's switch that off. There we go. And let's quit Safari there. And then let's find the Rekordbox Q and key tool. Of course, why am I sorted like that? There it is. And let's wait for it to start up. And here we are within the Rekordbox Q and key tool, and right here it says process tracks added, and that added can be changed to modified at or after a given date, and it will show you the last date that rec run, just as a reminder for yourself. This limits the scope of the Rekordbox Q and key tool. If you put a crazy date in it, let's say you make it 1976 or something, then it will simply process all the tracks in your Rekordbox collection. But if all those tracks have been processed before, there is no need to do it all over again. So you want to limit the scope so it will be faster. And you can do that by two things. The date added is the date added, the date that a track has been added to a Rekordbox collection, and actually that information you can read yourself when I open Rekordbox. And that seems to take its time today, the Rekordbox itself. So hold on, folks. Sometimes things can get slow, but why is it taking so long? There we are inside Rekordbox, and if you right-click the main column, and then you always have to find, because this is not a date added, should be there. And you see two things, date added and date created. Date created is the date that the audio file was created, not very important. Date added is actually the date that the track was added to the Rekordbox collection. So if you just want to process new tracks, that might be an interesting thing. However, the question that Kevin had was, what does that modified mean? Modified is not available to you as a user to see. However, each track in Rekordbox has in the database a modified column. And that simply means something changed in the track, and that can be you corrected the title, you corrected the artist, you did add an extra cue, you did remove a cue, you did edit the comment of the track. Whatever you did, the moment you change something in the track, that date modified will be changed. And that can also be a selection criterion, because that tells you when the last time was that tracks were actually touched or changed by you. So for that reason you have the choice between modified and added. Modified you cannot see as a user in Rekordbox. There is no column date modified, unfortunately. I wish there was. But date added you can see, as you just saw. And that's the difference between those two, and whichever you prefer you can use. That's up to you. Let's finish rec here. And then the first question by Kenny Fiesta. I am thinking of adding modular media players to my Mixtour Reloop Pro, namely two Pioneer CDJ 350 units. Do you think they'll work together? No way that they will work together, because CDJ 350s are Pioneer DJ stuff, and that of course you can use the Mixtour analog in and read the analog signal from those two CDJs, but that's about it. By the way, I would never invest in any low tier standalone players from Pioneer, simply because it's not worth the money anymore. Of course CDJ 3000s are the norm, are the standard. CDJ 2000 Nexus 2 also still is a valid choice, but everything below that, it just doesn't make any sense to me to invest in it, because the average controller is cheaper and can do much more than that. And yes, you need to have a computer for a controller, but that's the story it is. And if you really want to add something, then take one of the Denon media players, because obviously features is not very important to you, which means compatibility is not very important to you, and then the Denon media players offer at the same price much more bang for the bucks than a low-end CDJ 350. So that's just my opinion. Do with it whatever you want. DJ Matt Official, good to have you with you, my friend. Hi, Mixmaster G. I hope you are well and all is good in the Netherlands. Yeah, the weather is kind of not that good, but I'm doing fine, thank you. And it's always my joy to join you guys each Tuesday right here. Sorry, I meant within Algorithm DJ. You want to have them work with Algorithm DJ. I don't even know if the CDJ 350 is supported by DJ. You should look that up on the algorithm compatibility. They have a very big chart, a compatibility chart on their site, but I don't think they are compatible. But hey, maybe they are. Because I saw that algorithm can use Pioneer. You just check that and you see that it can use it. Well, then it can use it, but because you cannot change the layer, you cannot make it an A or B player, I think that will simply be a duplicate of your mixture, and I don't see that working well together. So, to be honest, don't do it. Don't do it. If you want to have 4-channel solutions, go a different path. I wouldn't invest in CDJ 350s, period. Just too much of old technology there. Then I was helping an artist, and this artist had very his audio tracks were all over the place on various drives. So we were cleaning that up, and then I discovered something that I wanted to share with you guys, because I'm sure I'm not the first to encounter this. Namely, you have a drive which says I've got more than enough space to store everything, and you try to copy something to it, and the finder says, hold on, that's not going to fit, while you know that it will fit. And the reason why that happened is so-called snapshots. And snapshots are essentially kind of a frozen situation of your hard drive, and are used by Time Machine to recreate the hard drive at a given date and time. I'm not a fan of Time Machine, I find it too much of a black box, but it uses snapshots. Snapshots are also used by my friends Carbon Copy Cloner if you don't switch them off. And those snapshots can occupy space. Now, how do you know if you have snapshots on your drive and how to get rid of them? Let's have a look together. This is the correct one. I'm starting to get good at switching my screens, but to go at once at the correct one, that's still a challenge. In your applications folder, there's a utilities folder, and if you open that utilities folder, you can find the disk utility, which is right here. And if you start it up, nothing interesting is happening, because you need to first select the volume, and in my case, my startup volume is named SSD. That needs to be APFS formatted, and there you can see it is APSF formatted. And then if I go under view, I can say show APFS snapshots, and then the fun begins, because the moment you enable that, you see this loading and you see that the screen splits in two, and there are actually snapshots there. And as you can see, most of them are pretty old. There's a snapshot of 2023, and there are some of 2024. I can select them all. It's still working, as you can see, so I cannot do anything. I have to wait for this to finish. But right here you have this minus symbol, and that will become active the moment it has done scanning for snapshots. And that will free up some considerable space. The size that you see right here is not the real size. It's not 600 gigabytes and 600 over 600 gigabytes, but they still will occupy space, and a lot of that there is. So now I can press the delete snapshots. It will warn me again, that's fine, and it will start deleting those snapshots, which can take some time. I hope it doesn't influence the stream, but this can take some time, folks. And after that, I will regain some of that missing storage space because the snapshots no longer live inside my system. And I didn't know about these snapshots, and I didn't know that you could remove them. Again, this only works for APFS volumes, so it doesn't work for any drive, but it is very worth checking out in the disk utility if you have snapshots, and if you have them, it's very safe to remove them. And I forgot to take to bring my bottle of water, so you have to excuse me for my voice then. Kenny Fiesta has the question number 2. I let the remove snapshots run, and right now yeah, that's what I mean. There we go. It was not there you can see everything is gone. So if you go to a volume and you know that you are on a volume, if you click on it and there are snapshots on it, you will have a list of snapshots there, and you can remove them like I just demonstrated. Again, this can be a very valuable tip for a lot of people. Kenny Fiesta has question number 2. In iTunes, why not simply do smart playlists and have each DJ software recognized from, except for the engine, which I believe cannot see smart playlists from Apple? Actually, why not? You can do that indeed. It is what I am recommending. I recommend using iTunes as your main collection manager. Make your playlists in iTunes and then use those playlists in whatever DJ software you want. If you want to use smart playlists, fine. But remember, smart playlists are only as good as the tags that you give the tracks. So if your tracks are fully tagged, artist, title, genre, year, BPM, all is correct, then they are very useful. But if they are missing, yeah, then you have a problem. So make sure your tags are complete if you want to use smart playlists. But indeed, it is what I recommend to do. Knight Rider. Knight Rider checked and says it's only support on macOS, not on the other platforms. That's one. Knight Rider checked it and said it's only support on macOS. Remember, DJ is very Apple-centric, so in a lot of situations, gear will only work on macOS or maybe on iOS, and then Windows, Android, and the rest comes. So that's there. All right, Kenny is trying to give some more information there. Kenny, that won't fly, my friend. You can forget about that. If you just want to use the jog wheel from a CDA 350 and the pads from a mixture, unless you are going to MIDI map the shit out of that, it will not fly. And lucky for us, Algorithm DJ is very MIDI mappable, so you can customize those MIDI maps pretty easy. But it's still a hell of a lot of work, and especially MIDI mapping jog wheels is a problem. MIDI mapping cue points and performance pads, that's less of a problem because those are just on and off buttons. But the moment it becomes analog information like sliders and jog wheels, then that can be a pickle to MIDI map it. Is it like Nokia kind SQL or real file system? Managed control. I'm not sure what you're asking there, my friend. But if you enlighten it, then maybe we can talk about it. And my system seems to be freezing up sometimes. It might be a result of live removing those snapshots. Like I said, it is safe, but usually you need to reboot your computer to make it a totally safe environment. Those were actually the topics I wanted to speak about, which means that unless there are questions coming in from you, the audience, I will close the stream in just a moment. So if you got a question for me, just let me know in the chat you got a question and I wait for that question. Otherwise, you are typing that question and I close the chat, the stream, and then you have to wait for next week for the answer to that question. 𝐀𝐬𝐤 says, okay, the jog wheels would be the problem. How about the then 𝐿𝐶6000? That is supposed to work also fine, but the moment you are going to combine that kind of stuff with other stuff, that is where your problem lays. Because you turn on DJ and it will recognize, let's say, the mix stream, but then it cannot recognize also the CDJ300. It's not like it can do multiple functions with multiple keyer at the same time. It maps itself to whatever is connected to it. And that is where your limitation lays, or where the problem lays. We can have a quick look. I still see myself freezing up all the time, so I'm not sure how the actual live stream is holding up, because I see the screen freezing here all the time. Let's call. Alright, it looks like the stream is having issues. Like I said, I have talked about all the topics I want to speak about. So let me say bye for now, and I hope to see all you guys next live stream next week, and then the computer will be fine because I am not going to remove those snapshots a second time. So hope to see you all next live stream. For now, thank you all for watching. If you got a question and yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I think it's the system restoring from those. I think it's the system restoring from those snapshot removals. So just for fun and giggles, let's say bye for now. I hope to see you guys all next week. If you got a question for me for next stream, put it in the comment field below. If you like what I'm doing, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and all that other good stuff. And I'll be back next week. I appreciate all of you hanging out with me on each Tuesday evening. 𝐸𝐬𝐤 signing off.